in the studio. Okay.
Hey, it's Robin Dillard here, publisher of BEQ Pride magazine. And today I'm coming to you live to talk with Michael Roach of Roach Creative, who's a marketing and digital strategist. I'm going to introduce Michael now, get him in. We're going to talk a little bit about small businesses and marketing and sales and some of the things that folks are uncomfortable about. So let's welcome Michael. Hey, Michael.
Hi there, Robin. How are you doing today?
Oh, good. Thanks for joining me for this little bit of a lunchtime break. I just wanted to give folks a chance to talk with you, to hear some of your great advice that you have and some of the things that business owners complain about when they're having their marketing woes. And before we get to that topic, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then we'll jump right in for this quick conversation.
Sure thing. Thank you. A little bit about me. I'm Michael Roach. I'm a marketing strategist and consultant based in the upstate New York, Albany area. And what I do is work with businesses and nonprofits and help them feel more comfortable about their marketing efforts. A lot of times when you're starting a business, the marketing aspect sometimes hits people like a ton of bricks, like,
Yes.
oh, this is a new thing I got to do. Well, I help, relieve some of that discomfort and, just help business owners find more time in their business to do the things that they really enjoy doing, especially if they don't like marketing.
I think that's you're being a little humble here, but I'm going to do a little bit more of a shout out that says, "Hey, Michael, the fact of the matter is you soup to nuts, do everything in my book in terms of marketing. Your skills range from just the strategy level, even down to execution, and if necessary, a little HTML coding and everything in between, photography. So." Yeah, you're being a little modest. That strategist is with the big S, maybe an S on your chest sometimes. But so anyway, let's move along with the conversation. Let's talk about what do people need to post
On social media? Yeah. In terms of businesses, what they should be posting, I think we should mention too, like a lot of times businesses will they'll think they need to be on every platform, and that may not necessarily be useful for their time. So it really depends on if their audience is there and in the first place, and if they can build an audience there, then sure, go for it. In fact, their audience is probably already there having some sort of conversation, and they probably have questions, and the business owner or the business can provide some value. So what would a business post if they want to become part of the conversation? They would post things about, I should say, let me start with the things that they shouldn't post. The things that they shouldn't post are things like, do business with me, do business with me. They should not be posting messages like that all the time, or very sales-oriented messages all the time. It has to be a combination or a variation of messaging. Certainly you want to position the business as an expert or a solution to that pain that the customer is feeling. You need to have that. You need to have bring about some awareness about the brand and the organization and the product or the service. You have to do that. But then other times, probably for more times than not, create some value. Offer tips, offer advice, helpful how-to-dos or how-tos. Find ways that you can answer questions for that particular audience that has that problem. So in terms of social posts, what that could be, it could be like an infographic of something that your customers are talking about that would help them understand how big this problem really is, or ways that they can solve it with maybe 5 or 3 or 7, or I love odd numbers, different types of tips, so they can be effective at what they do. If it's maybe your customer is the homeowner, maybe your customer is the accounting person in every major organization, or the CFO or the CEO. These people are thinking about things. They have pains. And if your content can talk about those pains, not just one, but maybe few different types of pains, it's certainly going to resonate with them.
Yeah, so many smaller business owners and especially solopreneurs are very small organizations. They tend to um, want to outsource the social part of it and the marketing to some young person. They'll say, "Oh, let me find a millennial or a Gen Z. They'll be able to do it." But talk to us a little bit about like how comfortable this is in terms of opening a dialogue and conversation and not to be afraid.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that can be a very tricky thing. I hear of a lot of business or organizations saying, um, "I'll just get a young intern to help me understand more about TikTok." And I think there's some value in talking to a young person about some of these channels, because they think about content in a different way than maybe some of the older individuals do. And some of the things that we think are hurdles or challenges or things of ways of posting things or doing stories or showing up and putting a camera in front of your face and talking about yourself, some of that makes certain people cringe. So right, right. So, and some younger people, not all, but many younger people have this attitude of, I'm going to dive in, I'm going to understand it, I'm going to make mistakes, I'm just going to do it, I'm just going to show up and be my authentic self. And I think that is something that we can probably borrow. The folks that are nervous about it, I think that's something we can borrow from those interns, or those people that they're saying that I'm going to give this marketing thing to. I think we can borrow some of that. But just to go for a little deeper, um, we could probably have some of these individuals. They don't necessarily have to be, the young intern or the person that's new to the business. Sometimes you need the business owner to provide that expertise,
Mm-hmm.
that perspective about the audience. If you give it to somebody else that has maybe very little understanding about the industry or the struggles of the customer, then you're going to have this disconnect. It's going to be a vacuum in your business, and you're not really going to connect with them. You got to use the customer's language, the words that they use. And maybe the business owner will know that. Maybe the business owner doesn't know how to post it, but if you can relay that information to that person and have that be the outsourced piece of content, then I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, well, that's a gem there, right? It's a combination of that young intern or that person, but not outsourcing all the responsibility or the face of your brand or your voice or the authenticity that really is the difference maker when it comes to winning new business. So let's jump into that. Do I need to be on TikTok? That's what a lot of people want to know. I mean, because there's always some kind of dance challenge or something. And in my mind's eye, I see me, doing the little moves and, but then I never do it. Tell me, do I need to be on TikTok?
Right. I would say I wish there was like a clear answer on this, and I'm sure some folks out there would disagree, but I really think it depends. It really depends on the business, depends on the industry. If we were talking, I'm pushing more toward the yes, but if we were talking maybe a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, even 3 years ago, I would probably say no, just wait. But now I would say strongly consider it. And if you don't post anything on TikTok, see what people are posting. See how they're taking this short form content and now longer form content, because TikTok is using more longer videos. They're allowing people to post longer stuff. See how people are creating those snippets of content and what people are reacting to. There's something there. There's some secret sauce. And if you listen closely, you'll start to pick up on, oh, if I take this trend or this pattern or this way of thinking about content and bring this over to other platforms like
Right.
Instagram, then you can manufacture that same type of impressions or engagement or just
Yeah.
views.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I'm thinking of two small businesses in particular that I've just encountered. One was this, especially if you have like this unique sort of job that you do, if you're one of a kind or, a really small group of people. And this guy was like some kind of metabolic scientist. So he
Mm-hmm.
knows all about metabolism, and he like totally looks up a report online, some kind of journal entry. He comes on, he puts his glasses up on his head, and he just starts telling you, I'm the metabolic scientist, whatever. But that authenticity comes across, and he's
Mm-hmm.
using some of the features in this case in TikTok where the closed captioning is on there, so it has all those components, and he's just really just giving you his understanding of something he just read, and he
Mm-hmm.
shows you on his computer screen where he was reading it, and he just gives that little bit of information. And these are things that you can actually have your potential customers or people who know your customer get used to coming to you for little snippets about what you know about the market, about a certain type of problem or an how to, and just really sharing some insights, really thinking about what your customer wants to know about and what's to talk about. So I think, so for that metabolic, I think his name is like Dr. Ben Bickman or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very informative. But then the other thing I saw was this OBGYN who was taking TikToks that she found, I guess, young people doing that were all wrong. So she'd kind of review them and just like, no, that's a myth. You really can't get, a pimple from, looking in the mirror, and, she just demystifies all kinds of things and busts myths. And she built a huge, huge following just by being herself and coming to a conversation with her credentials, not giving anyone advice or anything, but and so for BEQ Pride being focused on the LGBTQ plus community first, what I found so compelling was when she came out and said that her practice, because she's in Texas, is open for everyone, and
Mm-hmm.
why it was important for her practice to be open. And then she invited on, trans women and trans men to talk about the issues. So there's always this platform where you can be authentically who you are and open yourself up to 7.9 billion people on the planet, or at least the ones that speak your language. And I'm sure they have some kind of trick out here where you can simulcast and someone can, do sign language or speak another language or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just so many tools. And that's really what I wanted to talk to you about today, was getting people comfortable with the idea of taking it on. So if some of my friends who are listening now, or maybe listening to this on a recording, where can they find you? How can they talk with you a little bit about what they're up against and maybe have a consult? How does that work with you?
Sure. Well, first thing I would say to them, just kind of like a piece of advice or some thinking, is the first step to doing anything related to not even just marketing, but just a lot of things, a lot of these challenges that we face in business. The first step is usually the hardest, and then the first thing that you create is going to be, it might be sloppy, okay, it might be a little janky, right? But that's okay. Once you have been on the other side of starting that thing, then you can look back and say, I did it. There's one piece, but then you can also relearn to refine it and make it better. But you got to keep doing it. So it's just getting on the other side of the other fence of that fear is sometimes the hardest thing to do. But
Well, I would say you definitely make that easy. I mean, since I've known you, you make things so simple and exciting. And I wanted people to know about you and what you do, and how open you are and welcome you are to people who have questions that may seem like silly questions, and just really an effective partner in demystifying these things that really shouldn't be so difficult, and kind of getting your teenager off your payroll so you can actually do business. But yeah, so anyway, I am really excited that we had a chance to talk today. And on the exit, can you tell my friends here where to reach you, how to get in touch with you.
Sure thing. Absolutely. Thank you. Folks can find me at michaelroachcreative.com. That's the website. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at the same name, Michael Roach Creative. And on my website, if you check it out, there's a resource area, resource library, where I have a lot of good freebies and some paybees. Maybe I shouldn't call them paybees, but there are resources out there that people can check out. Lots of good ebooks, worksheets, guides, how-tos, slides even, and it's just as a resource to provide value to business owners and entrepreneurs who need help with their marketing.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what you're saying, when I think about all your resources, it's not only what's on the website, the freebies and the little paybees, and then there's big paybees if people need to pay big. But that's what I like about you. You're able to scale from the solopreneur all the way up to, a major corporation and whatever's happening, and be able to take what you have in terms of knowledge and share that with people quickly and on their level, right? So if you need to talk with the big heady marketing CMO types, you have that and you have words for that. But if you're just talking to somebody's mama who just figured out they're making cakes or something or you know how to help them out, and that is an important skill to have. So thank you for talking with me today, and we're going to come back and talk some more as we do more work together and learn more things. I want to have you on for these little lunch and learns and give people some gems about what they can do, and even maybe see me do it. Like, because I'm really feeling the TikTok challenge. There's one where there's people doing a little dance, and I really feel like I can work that into my BEQ Pride publisher personality. I'm really going to try. I'm going to get brave and I'm going to do my little dance, and it's going to be relevant, and everyone's going to say it's effective. But we'll have to strategize on that before.
Right. And we will learn. We will learn from it. These are learnings. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Good talking to you.
All right. Good talking to you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.